Kobe Bryant is the pinnacle of the modern day athlete, from his relentless work ethic all the way to his insatiable mind. There are so many different components that make up the legend that we know as Mamba Mentality. And to better understand Mamba Mentality and Kobe Bryant, you have to understand where he came from, what he's been through, what he's done. And there's no better way to do that than to go through some of his best stories. Our first story goes all the way back to when Kobe Bryant was only 11 or 12 years old. His father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, was on a professional team in Italy. And on one random day, Bryant Shaw, who many of us know as Kobe Bryant's future NBA teammate, was also a professional basketball player in Italy at the time, and he was about 22 years old. And as legend goes, Kobe Bryant went up to him after practice and said, "Hey man, I can beat you in horse, let's do it." And with Bryant Shaw being 11 or 12 years older than Kobe, he thought it'd be no big deal, it'd be easy. And you guessed it, Kobe did in fact win that game. Bryant Shaw later talked about it was this very moment, it was this very day that he realized Kobe Bryant had all the tools it would take to become a very successful basketball player in the future. People like Kobe who are so successful in life, those traits they have in their later years, they usually have when they're young. That killer, it was always there. And how crazy is it to think that Bryant Shaw would later be one of Kobe Bryant's teammates on one of their championship teams? Our next story comes from Lisa Leslie, widely considered to be one of the greatest female basketball players in history, and until recently was the all-time scoring leader for the US national basketball team. Shout out Kevin Durant for that record. A lot of people don't know this, but Lisa Leslie was actually very good friends with Kobe Bryant's sister. When Kobe was around 8 or 19 years old, Lisa Leslie used to visit them at their house, and she talked about this one particular weekend she was over there hanging out with Kobe's sister, and she talked about Kobe's room being right across the hall and that he was over there all day long watching videos of Michael Jordan, just studying him, breaking him down. And she said what was so spectacular about that specific day was that her and his sister went out for a whole day at the mall, and when they got back, Kobe was still watching tapes. And then she talked about how it got a level even crazier. She went out with Kobe's sister that night, and when they got back in the morning, Kobe was still watching tape. In this interview, she talked about how Kobe Bryant was absolutely obsessed with mimicking Michael Jordan to the very T. Every single demeanor, every single thing he could, he would mimic, which again shows why Kobe Bryant was so similar to him, not only just in his playing style, but the way he carried himself off the court. Lisa Leslie said he wanted to copy him every way possible. Our next story comes from Robert Horry, one of the most clutch shooters in Lakers history, in fact NBA history, and Kobe Bryant probably wouldn't have a couple championships if it wasn't for this guy. I still can't believe Robert Horry went to the Spurs after the Lakers and got another championship. Horry talked about when he first got to the Lakers in 1997, Kobe Bryant could not shoot threes whatsoever. He was always just putting up bricks in practice. He talked about how after practice they had this game they used to play with Mitch Richmond, Kurt Rambis, Bryant Shaw, Kobe and himself, and that Kobe Bryant never won. He literally got last place every single time. But he said what blew his mind was every single day after practice he would find Kobe Bryant just sitting there shooting threes relentlessly and then demanding a rematch against all of them. Robert talked about it was this very mindset, it was this very obsession with winning, with getting better at whatever he was doing that made Kobe who he was. Robert talked about how you could challenge Kobe Bryant to making half-court shots, and if you did that, Kobe Bryant would be at half-court shooting them until he could make them back to back to back to back. He felt there wasn't anything Kobe couldn't do that he put his mind to. Pau Gasol, one of Kobe Bryant's favorite and most important teammates, learned the hard way with how competitive Kobe Bryant was. During the summer 2012 Olympics, Kobe Bryant made it a point to go through Pau Gasol to win that gold medal game. On that court, Kobe didn't care who you were, he was coming for you. And Pau's thinking to himself, bro, I just won a championship with you, man. I'm helping you secure your legacy. Wow. Pau went on to talk about that very summer when they got to training camp after those summer games. In one of their very first practices, Kobe Bryant called him out for a one-on-one, saying, Pau, I'm going to challenge you in the post because I know that's where you're best. And Pau, of course, was thinking to himself, bro, I am not ready to play. I am still trying to decompress and get my body right from all those summer games. Kobe didn't care. Pau talked about he got right at him, they played right away, and Kobe destroyed him. Pau went on to talk about that he felt Kobe Bryant was always in championship mode. He could never turn it off. I mean, imagine winning a championship with Kobe Bryant and then having Kobe Bryant run through your ass in the gold medal game in the Olympics. This is how you repay me, bro? Kobe don't care. This next story by John Selliston is an absolute testimony to how crazy Kobe Bryant was. In the 99-2000 season, Kobe Bryant infamously broke his right hand. And you'd think when someone broke their right hand, their shooting hand, they'd probably take it easy for a while, right? John certainly did. John talked about how much it upset him that Kobe Bryant used to get to the gym before him every single day. John talked about that for his entire life. John was always the first one to get to the gym, no matter what high school team or college team. He was the first there, up until he met Kobe Bryant. So of course John thought, oh, Kobe broke his hand. There's no chance that Kobe Bryant is going to be at this gym before me today. John talks about how excited he was to finally be the first one at that gym that day at practice, and as he walked up to that gym, he started to hear a ball bounce. And lo and behold, who do you think was in there? Kobe Bryant. You've seen that infamous picture with that cast on him shooting. John was absolutely blown away. Kobe was in there working on his left hand, working on his game with his left side. And this is one of the biggest testaments to Kobe Bryant and how just absolutely obsessed he was with bettering himself. Just because you can't do the thing that you love doing that you normally do the way you do it, doesn't mean you can't do it anymore. Think about it. Kobe Bryant understood that, okay, yeah, the right side of my body is useless right now, so let me improve my left. And there's no doubt it was this time, I'm sure it made him such a better player in his future. We can always let excuses stop us from doing the things we want to do, or we could just find ways to do them because there always is a way. Kobe taught us that. This final story is from Gerald Henderson, and it has everything to do with Kobe's attention to detail and just being so immersed in basketball, just knowing everything that has to do with it. Gerald talks about how about 30 or 45 minutes before game time one day, he sees Kobe Bryant talking to the maintenance guys. And what he hears is that Kobe's telling them that the goal is a quarter inch too low. And Gerald to himself is thinking, there's no way this dude is serious. There's no way. How can he tell that that's actually a thing? So Gerald laughed it off, left the court, went to go get some of his pregame rituals done, and then when he came back on the court, he saw the maintenance guys were on a ladder up on the goal. Gerald went over to another maintenance guy and asked, what's going on? And the maintenance guy replied, oh yeah, the goal was about a quarter inch too low. Gerald was absolutely blown away that Kobe could just have figured that out. How on earth could he figure out such a minute difference? But the reality is that Kobe has spent so much time playing basketball, spending so much time shooting, that he can tell and spot the smallest of differences because he lives in that world, and if something's off, he notices. It's like that video when Steph Curry was dribbling through his legs and it bounced away, and he's like, oh, that could have been me. And guess what? It wasn't. There are so many Kobe stories that we could delve into, so I think that's good for now. I'll definitely have more episodes like this coming, and if you've gotten this far, you probably have a love for Kobe just like me, and rest in peace to the GOAT. Kobe Bryant was so much more than a basketball player. I truly believe he would have gone on to be the president of the United States. I think this man was on a destiny to really just bring this world together, so to lose him when we lost him, it truly is devastating. So any chance we get to celebrate Kobe Bryant or Mamba Mentality, I think we should take it. As always, hit that subscription button and turn on notifications, and remember, go out there and do something great.